Our coffee breaks with researchers aim to spread knowledge about regional development and innovation. By sending a camera around the world, we present you with different angles and insights on the topic. We ask researchers directly and in a personal manner about their work. We want to make scientific knowledge accessible to all.
Hi, welcome to Coffee Break with Researchers. Today I'm at the Regional Innovation Policies Conference in Florence, and I'm having a coffee break with Annalisa Caloffi. She's an associate professor at Applied Economics at the University of Florence. Hello Annalisa, it is a pleasure for me to have you here at the coffee break. How are you doing?
Fine, thank you. Hello, and thank you for inviting me.
Do you like the coffee?
Very much. Of course, I'm an Italian, so I like coffee.
Great. So I would like to talk with you about a paper you wrote in which you analyzed different regional policy mixes for enterprise and innovation. Could you please tell me what the paper was about?
Yes. Well, the previous research on regional innovation policy mixes, which are, let's say, different combinations of policy instruments in a single package, in a single mix, were mostly of a theoretical nature. In this paper, we tried to translate some of these theoretical prescriptions into an empirical analysis. And in particular, we put forward a simple methodology for the identification of, let's say, different policymaking styles. And then we tried to apply this methodology to the analysis of the activity of the regional policymakers in Italy.
Great, thank you for clarifying that. And which ones were your main findings in your paper?
Well, let me put it this way, explain maybe a little bit more about what a regional policymaking style is about. Because, at least in principle, you can have different policymaking styles, which we try to describe in the paper. And these policymaking styles can range from the more minimal to the more proactive. While a proactive policymaker is a policymaker that tries to promote investment in structural change, in innovation, in strategic directions, a more minimal policymaker is a policymaker that target more general forms of firms' investment. Maybe is a policymaker that does not fancy very much targeting or selecting interventions. And we try to classify the Italian regional policymakers, which are 20, we have 20 regions in Italy. In these, we try to see whether the activity of the policymaker could actually be understood, be seen as something more close to a proactive style or to a minimal style. And of course, the reality is not in black and white. So we tried to take into account all the different kind of possible types of policymaking styles, ranging between these two extremes. And in the end, our findings were, let's say, quite paradoxical in a way, because we found that those regions that prior to our analysis were already those that were the more innovative ones, those with a higher quality of government, were those in which we could find the more proactive type of government. While on the other hand, those regions that would have been more in need of a government promoting structural change are those in which we find the, let's say, minimal style. This is quite paradoxical in a way, but similar types of paradoxes has already been found in the regional economic literature.
That's indeed quite interesting. So what was the main motivation that you had when you wrote that paper?
We would like to say something more about the regional level of government, and in particular on the effectiveness of this level of government, because the debate on regional policies is cyclically characterized by the presence of criticism about either the role, the very existence of a regional level of policymaking, or the effectiveness of this level of policymaking, or both, of course. But we must recognize that in many cases, these criticisms are based on some very famous cases of failure, rather than on a more detailed knowledge of what the regional policymakers are doing. So we were trying to give a contribution by looking in more depth, a more detailed way, what the regional policymakers are doing, how can we describe the behavior.
That's indeed very important. So finally, based on the findings of your research, which ones would you say are the main policy implications?
I think that literature has already identified the existence of a very important nexus linking institutional quality and regional economic development. And we believe that our story about the different policymaking styles is fully consistent with the presence of this nexus. In particular, of course, we believe that a proactive type of policymaker can contribute to regional economic development processes, but of course we also have to take into account the other way around, which means that regions that are more developed, that are more innovative, that have a higher quality of institutions and of government, are those that are able to, let's say, produce more proactive type of policymakers. And in the future, we would like to understand more about the direction, let's say, of this causality.
Oh, that's very interesting. Looking forward to those analyses as well. So those were my questions. Annalisa, thank you so much for your time. It was great to have you here. I wish you all the best for your future research and hope to see you next time in a coffee break.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for watching. If you're interested in more details about this academic publication, you can find here the link below. See you next time. Bye-bye.